The world's rivers are coming under increasing pressure from the rise of hydropower dams. One region is now the focus of an intense new dam-building offensive. It is also the last place where Europe's great rivers still flow.
We have everything here that is long gone in the rest of Europe.
As Albania's government is promised considerable revenue, a river-borne protest is launched. Its destination, the nation's capital.
These last wild rivers, supporting the local community and the wildlife is so important, but the high line of everything is the passion. I think it's the passion for the river.
The fight is on as construction begins. This is the story of the Balkan River Tour. As they head downriver, they became the Kayaktivists.
There's no other region in Europe that hosts so many beautiful and incredibly diverse rivers than the Balkans. Between Slovenia and Albania, there's rivers you haven't seen so far. You have waterfalls, crystal clear creeks, you have huge floodplain forests with eagles nesting there. You have wild rivers that have a riverbed from one side of the valley to the other. We have everything here that is long gone in the rest of Europe. So this is why we call it the blue heart of Europe. It's actually the center of the rivers of the continent. That's the good part of the story. The bad part is that if we don't act, we're about to lose it.
Hydropower development is threatening European rivers, destroying species habitats, the natural balance of rivers, and threatening the livelihoods of local populations. Between Albania and Slovenia alone, 2,700 dams are planned to be built. The Vjosa River runs free for 270 kilometers from Greece to Albania and is known as Europe's last big undammed river. Its cultural and ecological value are why Prime Minister Tirana promised to protect it during his election speech in June 2015.
Kjo është transformimi I gjithë luginës Vjosës në një park kombëtar. Në një park kombëtar. Të hidrocentrale pas hidrocentralesh dhe të fuqizohet bujqësia, blegtoria, agrobiznesi, ekonomia familjare.
Despite Tirana's promises, 7 months later, a concession was given to construct a new hydropower dam in Pochem, the lower part of the Vjosa River. A big river conservation campaign was launched, known as the Balkan River Tour. Rok Rozman, a Slovenian former Olympic rower and biologist, is leading the tour.
The main goal of the tour is to protect the last big free-flowing river in Europe. This is River Vjosa. And we intend to do that by collecting signatures on my kayak. And at the last day of the tour, we're going to hand over the kayak to Albanian Prime Minister Tirana and kindly ask him to protect this pearl and announce first European River National Park there.
Rok's team will kayak throughout the entire Balkan Peninsula to collect support to face Tirana on the final day. On the route, the team organized events in areas that have or will be affected by hydropower development. We are following them at the start in Slovenia and for the final stages in Albania, starting on the Vjosa Lake in Slovenia. This lake has become the kayakers' first platform for protest. Kayaking under the Vjosa Bridge officially marks the start of the tour. Rok's team first kayaked the Sava River, past an area where a hydropower dam is planned. Concerned locals are waiting on the bridge. One of them is Vjosa, a local fisherman. He is worried about how the dam will affect his children.
We fight because we are all the members of the planet Earth, and I want to save the nature for the young generations, for my daughter, for all other young people, that they will see how looks the environment in the original.
To increase awareness of the tour, the team has come up with a plan. Rok will spray the Balkan River Tour logo on the highest dam in Slovenia. This is just like activists did in the US 2 decades ago. To understand how hydropower is seen in the US today, we spoke to Hans Kohl, a director of environmental campaigns.
Dams are an outdated technology. People have been using dams for all sorts of reasons over the years, for power, for water storage, but there are better ways, more modern ways, and less impactful ways to do all of those things. There are different forms of energy that we can look to, solar and wind. There's different ways to store water and to get irrigation for agriculture. The benefits of dams do not outweigh their costs.
Having conquered this dam, awareness of the Balkan River Tour is growing and growing. Rok continues on his journey towards Albania. As soon as we arrive in Albania, we head to meet Rok in Bense Canyon, as the first stop of the tour is a construction site along Bense River. It's a tributary of the Vjosa, and building has already started. When we first see Rok, he is being interviewed. The Albanians know he is coming, although not everyone seems pleased to see us. We decide to leave and hold the protest further up the mountain. Once we arrive, a peculiar figure appears. It's Albanian star singer Golek Jaupi.
E Shqipërisë, mediat e Evropës, mediat e gjithë botës, bile që nga Amerika kanë ardhur për të na ndihmuar. Dhe kjo ndihmë që na bëni juve është ndihmë themeltare.
As even Albania's famous have joined Rok's protest, we travel to the river that it's all about, the Vjosa. The first stop on the river is Pochem, the town where the latest dam concession was given. The locals and mayor of the town are waiting.
Këtu me të gjithë banorët për të protestuar për këtë ndërtim të hidrocentralit dhe i bëjmë thirrje kryeministrit të vendit që të ndalojë këtë mos çdo lloj firmosje të projektit me firmën fituese.
Okay.
The growing number of supporters surrounding Rok is making it difficult for us to catch up with him. Before we know it, the team is on their way to the final big protest further down the Vjosa River. This protest is the biggest one yet. The Balkan River Tour may well have become a gateway to change, although no one can predict what will happen tomorrow in Albania's capital. We follow Rok's van to Tirana and await him at the Prime Minister's building the next day, when we see Rok and his team arrive.
Let's go!
There. I'm taking the boat, just there.
This is where our journey ends. The tour may be over, but the campaign to stop the dams goes on.
The highest people on the government did not decided to accept the kayak. Maybe also it's the security in this period. So I mean that can be possible.